10 provoking questions, 10 thoughtful questions. I think that might be helpful for not just me, but as you hear them answer, you may be able to say, Sam, I wouldn't answer it that way. Sam, what are you talking about? And it allows you to kind of to think critically. And that's what we're going to do. This exercise is just answering questions in a very thoughtful, insightful way. I may fail at it miserably, but Ricardo is behind the scenes. You can't see him, and he looks like this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go like that, and then put a smiley face right there. So Ricardo, thank you for doing this with me. I'm gonna say something, introduce yourself, say hello, and then we will just jump right into it.
Sure. Well, you already said my name, but yeah, my name's Ricardo. And I'm just excited to be here. We're at this really cool coffee shop.
I'm gonna do a quick glance. There's look at that, and there's Ricardo.
Yeah.
Because no one would believe me. They'll think I have an AI person.
No, yeah, we're at this pretty cool little coffee shop here in Fort Worth, and it's really great. And it's cool that you've included me. You've included me in something that you love to do. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
And something that I've seen you have some success in as well. So
was that a little hate? I'm just a little success. I'm messing with you. Me and Ricardo are friends, so you're gonna hear me say things that are a little more crass because he's my friend, and so he's gonna forgive me.
It's all good fun. So, but with that in mind, as far as the mindset of success, there's a quote out there by Albert Schweitzer that goes, "Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you will be successful." So with that in mind, Sam, what does success mean to you? Like, how do you define it?
Ooh, that's a tough question. So I'm an older gentleman. I have some life experience under me, right? Like I look young. I'm joking. I don't look young, but I feel young. But really, when I was a lot younger, let's just say 15 years ago, maybe even 20, right? My ideas of success were very different. It was like make money, not only make money, but allow people to know, like visually be able to see that I was making money. That was kind of the way that I would think of success. I guess many people might push back on that and say, Sam, you're being so superficial. But I really feel like I'm being honest in that question, in that answer.
Yeah.
I know I'm just giving my thought and my perspective, but I feel like that's a lot of people's idea of success in the very beginning. Things are changing nowadays. People are more thoughtful in how they see success. I think because of the internet, because of social media, it's a little different.
Right.
But overall, it's how people see you. That's why we buy. That's why we do what we do. And then we allow people to say, you look successful, Sam, right? So at some point, that was my thought. But hearing this quote by Albert, it does change my perspective a bit. It says, happiness is the key to success, and that's true. But some people gain success in things that don't necessarily make them happy. Like sometimes it is sacrifice and it is hard work. It doesn't line up with happiness. But that might be the avenue for you to pursue something that does make you happy. So I do have a job. I do something. And I do enjoy what I like. But would I say that I express the best part of me in my work? And the answer is no. Even though I do get to express a lot of my good qualities in my job. But because of the flexibility in my job, and it does allow me to move in this podcast world, in communication and storytelling. And that does make me happy. Yeah. And so in a weird way, I do make that connection. And so it does make me happy what I do, but only because it allows me to pursue this creative endeavor that if I'm lucky, I'll make it, right? And maybe I won't be so lucky and I won't. But even in that process, even in those steps, I'm very happy. And it says, if you love what you're doing, you will be successful. You got to be good at it. You can love what you do and suck and not be consistent and not grow and not do those things.
Right.
And so I don't think that that's completely true. Loving something is not enough. You still have to sacrifice. Like the fun In anything you love, the fun will go away and the business side of it will be present. And you have to love that business side of it to do what you love. And so I don't know if that was an answer, but we stretched out, that was the warm up for this episode. So was that okay? Was that kind of a good
No,
vibe?
that's good. And earlier you said when you were younger, you felt this success was something that was more visual.
Yeah.
That people need to be able to see for people to say, okay, this guy, he's making it or he's doing it.
Yeah.
But now, as you said, now that you're an older gentleman, do you feel like you're okay with not necessarily showing your success in a physical way?
Oh yeah, man. Like I'd rather people say Sam is successful in these areas, like family and his business and other areas, not simply just because I got Gucci or Louis V on. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to appear successful, and I don't want to do it the easy way. I want to do it the hard way. I want people to do it based on because they know me, because they see the results. And Louis V don't sell that. No hate. I mean, I know I used that company twice, but no hate.
Not being sponsored.
Yeah, and then the truth is there is certain levels of markers of success that I have in my head that if I hit, yeah, you're gonna see a little flossing.
Yeah.
Like I am gonna purchase a few items, but it's not necessarily to show off, but it's to show myself that I hit a milestone. But we'll keep that private as far as what those things are. But yeah, even though I'm not for it 100%, I will still fall victim to it. Just because that's the world we live in, this consumerism world. So I can't avoid it, but it doesn't drive me. You know what I mean?
No, that's great, man.
As I drink out of my Louis Vuitton coffee cup.
Oh my gosh. Not being sponsored, y'all. This is just... I wish we were being sponsored by them.
Yeah.
But, okay, so success. You mentioned you've kind of tried different things. And I guess in the perfect world, we would all love to be able to get it right the first time, right?
Yeah.
But obviously that's not the case for most of us. Very rare occasions that's happened. So with success, you also have failure,
Welcome
they're
to
married.
The Failed podcast.
Yeah, they're married, right?
Yeah.
One can't happen without the other.
Exactly.
So how have you approached failure and what, I guess you could say, what role has it played in shaping your journey, your life?
Dude, that's so failure is such a big part of my life. First of all, because of the podcast, it literally got birthed because of failure. And it did happen during the big C word, right? I don't like to say it. During that time, during the time that the world changed, there was a few failures and really some disappointments and setbacks that made me rethink a few things that I was doing. And I rebranded myself from a leadership podcast and movement that I was doing to the Failed podcast, because I'm not the first to say that there's a lot of lessons in learning that come from failure, but I wanted to kind of refocus the way I communicated with people and the way that I did my podcast from the basis of failure because of what it's given me. In other words, it could have shut me down, but I chose to spin it on flip it on his head and take the lessons that it gave me, but not only to like benefit from those lessons, but to motivate other people not to quit when they fail. That's really why I do it, because I want to share stories about failure, but more about the lessons. And so I approach failure like this. Not necessarily that I approach failure, but I set my goals and I move forward. And I don't say if I fail, I'm gonna quit. If I fail, I'm going down the wrong direction. I kind of know it's gonna pop up somewhere. I just have to figure out what it is I want to get out of it, and then continue to move forward with it. So I'm just like, what is it gonna give me?
Yeah, no, and that's good. And I like how you said how you share the failures, because I think ultimately that's failure is what really connects us as humans more than success. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Not a lot of us succeed the way we want, but I think most of us have failed in a very similar or common way. You know?
Yeah.
I think we've all gone through situations where we're like, man, I failed, and we can relate with one another more in the failures and the successes. But obviously, you've had some success, right? And I know earlier I kind of made it a little fun and said a little success, but no, man, like you said, we're friends, and I had
Somehow you figured out how to put that back. No, I'm joking. Yeah. No,
No.
but I hear you. I hear
no,
you.
we're friends, so I have seen both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can say as your friend that I have seen you succeed.
Ricardo has seen me fail too.
I
Like
have.
down on my luck, bad situation. Like he's
Man.
been there. Like our families know each other,
I
and
know.
so yeah. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot.
For sure, man. So I think success to a certain level can change people.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
can, I think a lot of us say, no, if I get really wealthy or if I reach this point, like I'm not going to change, but it does.
Yeah.
I think it changes
I
us
said, just wait till you get there.
Right.
Yeah. No, money's not going to change me. Get some money first, and then give me a call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me a call.
So I guess with that in mind, I think it's important for everyone really to be grounded in some sort of values, to have some sort of value system. So as far as for you, how have your values grounded you in your decision making towards succeeding?
Ooh.
Or even failing,
Yeah. Well, so my value system, like I'm a Christ believer, and but I'm not perfect, and I never try to portray like I'm perfect, but I do have some values that I live by, and that is, just be a good man, be as honest as possible, and like just do good and bring positivity to like the community and the people that I'm around. So those values, and obviously like not choosing what's easy over what's earned. That's another value that I have. And so, just as I do creative stuff, as I step into business and try to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented in front of me, I don't necessarily say yes to everything really fast, because I've known, like I've seen what it does to me whenever I choose based on those values. Like, I see the money, I see the opportunity, I see the attention that it can give me, and I don't want to see what that would do. Like, I don't want to see what that would bring out in me. I like to take my time. I like to talk to my wife and kind of get a consensus from people that I know, and so that's like be slow in thinking and decision making. So that's also kind of like a value.
Yeah.
I have another funny value that's I don't even know if it falls under that, but I'm going to ask you this, and you answer. But you have you ever heard me cuss?
Have you? You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Well,
maybe because I was sharing a story or something and I had to, but like for fun or because I was angry.
No.
Okay, but I do. So anyways, so most people haven't. Okay,
Right.
And I do, like in my head, and I know all the words and everything, but I don't use it like in my vocabulary. It does not define how I communicate.
Right.
At some point, a long time in my back in my life, I said I'm not going to use cuss words because I don't need them. Because I rather communicate. I rather use other ways to describe there's other ways to describe that you're mad, right? Instead of just throwing an F-bomb or something out there. But most people haven't heard me. But those closest to me have, but it's not like ill intended. And so that's one value that I set for myself. And in the pod community, I've interviewed a lot of people in the Fort Worth area, and they're like, oh, I'll go on Sam's pod, and Sam doesn't cuss. So I chose not to. And I always tell them, like, do you, I'll edit it out. But that's a value that I've kind of put out there, and other people have responded in a positive way.
That's good.
I don't know if that makes sense. Well, you didn't even answer your question.
Well,
you were going to be like, yeah, Sam. Yeah. But go ahead. I'm gonna just.
No,
I stopped you because I was scared.
No,
what you were gonna say.
I know. I said, "Do you want me to be honest?"
Yeah.
And then you moved on.
No, I was like, "Well, no."
Yeah.
But yes, please, because I don't want the people to be like, "Sam, why'd you cut him off?"
No. I mean, that's good. I think. I think it's good to have good values, and it's good. You said your faith. That's something that's something good, that to have to help keep you grounded and aligned. Because I think ultimately, I think that's what we're going to be remembered more by, not necessarily by what we have, but really by our values. For
Yeah.
people are going to think back on Sam and say, man, he was a good guy. He
Yeah.
helped me out when I needed help. He stepped up. And same for me, I'm hoping at the end of it all, people are going to remember me by not by my things, but like, man, Ricardo was good to his family,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's good, man. Uh, so just kind of moving along a little bit, changing it up. Uh, but I'm sure you've come across situations to where you perhaps wanted to move forward with an idea, but there's something that we all have to deal with on the path to success in a way, and that is fear, right? So how has fear played a role in your life, and what are some ways that you overcome it? Because I think a lot of people have great ideas, and that perhaps they want to execute, but they freeze because of fear. They're what have you done to overcome that?
It's okay. So you say the word fear, and I'm game, but I want to attach fear to embarrassment a little bit, because a lot of people will not do something because they'll be embarrassed if they fail or whatever. And so, but fear is real in my life. Like, I do think about health, I do think about my family, I do think about stuff like that. But I also wasn't fearful, for example, of heights when I was younger, because I didn't have a lot of stuff on the line. I don't know, it wasn't present. And then there came a certain point in my life where I have a fear of heights. And so people say it like, "Oh, I'm not scared of heights," and they'll say it like this macho mentality. It's not something that you can control. It's internal. The fear of heights is internal. It's something that your body just doesn't feel comfortable with anymore.
Right.
And so your body reacts. It's not the way that people perceive it. Right? Oh, well, just get up there. Just choose. Just say you're not.
Right.
You don't have a choice. And so when I think of fear, I think of like, what do I not have a choice in how my body or my mind responds and how I deal with it? So I still get on the ladder. But guess what? Guess what that fear does? It allows me to climb slower, to be more thoughtful. I tell myself, do I need to get on this ladder, or can I get someone else to get on the ladder? Like it just allows me time to think and execute.
Yeah.
And back then, I just wanted to overcome fear. Like here comes an attack, and my fear says just beat it up and kill it and blah blah blah, move on, like caveman style. And so when I think of fear, what it's telling me to do is figure out why you're scared. Figure out, do you need to continue with the fear? Is there another way around the fear? So it's just allowed me to think a little better. It's almost like my inner self telling me, slow down, Sam, and be thoughtful. I have been told sometimes, Sam, you make decisions too fast.
Right.
And fear allows me to slow down. And so now I do think things out a little slower, but I think that came from fear.
Yeah.
But now I've learned how to think the same way, but without fear.
Yeah.
Fear will still force me there, but I've learned to do it without fear being present. So I'm not sure if that answered it.
No, that's good. And I think you touched on a few things, because fear sometimes gets a bad rap. Like you were saying,
there's coffee in there. People are thinking he's faking it. There's no more coffee in there. There is. I'm just sipping it really slow.
No, but yeah, fear sometimes gets a bad rap, as and you kind of mentioned, like just go out and do it, overcome it.
Yeah.
But the fear can be a good thing, because like you said, it allows you to slow down and think things through a little bit, especially as you get older. You have more on the line, and you just want to make sure that what you're doing, it's going to benefit the people you love also.
Yeah.
So that's good, man.
How's Ricardo doing, everyone? Is he doing good commentary behind the scenes? Now, before we continue, I just wanted to say thank you, Ricardo. You're doing a great job.
No, I'm just talking, man. I'm
I
just
know,
talking.
and that's what I like. That's what I like.
So I know, like, going back to our friendship, you and I have known each other for some time, and the time that I've known you, I know that you
How
have.
long? 10 years at least, around
It's
there.
gotta be more than that.
More than that, yeah. Anyway, that's
We need to
good.
go back and do the math on that.
Yeah, it's been a good amount of time. We've
Is it-
definitely seen our kids grow up.
It's been
Like I remember our kids being little, you having less kids or something.
Yeah.
But now you like. Yeah.
it's been at least a decade for sure. So
Yep, you're right.
yeah, it has been.
At least, yeah.
So, but we need to do the math on that. But in the time that I've known you as a guy that loves and appreciates community. You're not really the kind of guy, like, you have your time to where you do want your alone time.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I've known you a guy that as a guy that appreciates community. So, what does community mean to you? And and not only that, but how do you contribute to community as well?
Man, okay, so community is like a thing that's just in my heart, bro. Like I believe in connecting with people, bringing people together, understanding different stories and different cultures. That's what I enjoy doing. I just that's my thing. How I've contributed, I believe I've contributed by helping people. It's this thing that I live by at the moment, and that's storytelling. I believe that in the midst of storytelling, you're able to connect people. The more that you're able to understand someone that isn't you, from other communities, other ways that they were raised a different way than you were, but you hear it not like in pieces, but you hear their story, right? That's what I do here at the Failed Podcast. Is I encourage storytelling, but for me, storytelling at the core is about community. Like I feel like that's the purpose behind it, is to bring to cause connections between people, and that's the best way to do it. And so community means a lot to me. Community means like where I grew up, but it also means where did you grow up, and how can we create a community together. It's not, I don't hear community and think division,
Yeah.
even though that's the reality, is that there's a lot of division right now in our society. But when you hear the word community, that word shouldn't exist. And when you think of events that happen at parks, and then all these families and different people come in and they share in that experience, that's community. Or whenever a community steps up and helps someone because
Yeah.
they're in need, and they may not know them personally, but the community comes together and they help someone, that's what community is. And it just drives me. Like at the end of the day, I always move and do to make community better. That's what I enjoy. Did the music get louder? I feel like as I'm talking, it's like there's someone behind the scenes saying, "Okay, put it out, put it."
It depends on the song. Some are a little louder than others.
I'm hoping that the mics kind of don't catch that as much as it catches our voice, but we'll find that out in post edit, guys. So yeah, community means so much to me. That it's so funny that I have like a very little answer to it, except that you should be a part of community. You should contribute to the community that you live in. There's a lot of people who choose not to. They're very isolated.
Right.
They choose to find something outside of the community to kind of drive them. But I think that wherever you're at, it's for a purpose, and you should connect to people around you. And the stronger a community, the stronger the people. The less that people feel alone. And a community is representative of its people. And there is bad communities, and then there is good communities. But
Right.
no matter if it's good or bad, I would like to think there's individuals there that want better for those, whether it's good or bad. And I like to think that's me.
Right.
I want to make my community, the communities that I interact with, better.
That's great, man. I know Helen Keller said, "Alone we can do so little; together we can do so much."
Say less.
Yeah, and I think that hits around the head,
Yeah.
And I do want to take the time to thank you as well. I'm the type of guy that likes to isolate, and it's very easy for me to just
I
be,
agree.
to just be
But
on
yeah.
my own.
Yeah.
And but you're and I say thank you because you're a friend that's kind of pulled me out of that, that calls me up and you
For sure.
wanted to do community with me, and you like kind of bring me out of my shell a little bit. And so thank you for that, Sam, because that's an area in my life that you've helped me grow in. So
yeah, we hang out, we doing something, we talking to some people. You know that, right?
yeah,
You're like,
absolutely. So
hold on, let me see what we got. How many we got? We got 10 lined up. Let's do one more. I think we're like on 6. We're hitting the 25-minute mark. I think that'd be good.
all right, so one more. So let's end it with this question, because I think this really kind of wraps up a lot of the thoughts that you've shared today. And this question has to do with legacy.
Oh,
And I think at some point we all we think about that, and we touched on it a little bit ago, as far as like how are we going to be remembered?
yeah.
And we're not going to be remembered by our stuff necessarily. Maybe some will, but most of us won't. So what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
Man, that's tough. It's a okay. So obviously with my family, right, with my daughter, like I hope that the values I put in her, the creativity, the art of communication, I hope that my legacy can live on through her. I hope she's older and she says, "My dad taught me this," and it encourages someone in whatever she shares.
Yeah.
But that's a lot deeper of an answer that we don't have time for. But one of my legacies that I think about is storytelling.
Okay.
I want to be known. Like I'm not a storyteller, like sit down, once upon a time type storyteller, but I want to be known for encouraging people to share their story. People who never thought they had anything worth sharing. When they hear of me, I want people to say, "I'm thankful that Sam encouraged me to share my story." Not only to do that, but to as they observe what I'm doing, to teach them how to do it. And the legacy that I want to leave behind, it's so crazy because I have these 3 C's that I believe in.
Okay.
And don't judge me, I have more beliefs. They're like, "Damn, Sam." No. As far as storytelling, is that it builds confidence, it builds communication, and it builds connection. I would like for people to say, "Sam, you were right. That's what I gained from my story." And thank you so much for those things. I think that's what storytelling gives people. That's what I want to be known for.
Man,
Being
that's
an
great.
amazing motivator of storytelling, something like that. Because it's not my story
Right.
that I'm saying. I'm saying I want to help people share their story. Yeah.
That's good, man. Give us those 3 C's one more time.
It is communication, confidence, and connection. I think that's what comes out of storytelling.
No, that's good, man. Well, I think that's a good way to kind of wrap this up. Man, it was fun.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it was fun getting to know you in this way, man. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of this little thing that you have going on. I know it's something that you love doing, so it's cool to be able to participate in it.
Yeah. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in to this unique episode of the Failed Podcast. I am your host, Sam Esquivel. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoy. If you have any questions or comments, please just type them in and then hit the subscribe button, please. I'm trying to hit more subscribers and grow what we're doing here. But in the meantime, I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you, Ricardo, and we'll see y'all on the next one.